What is up, guys? Zan here, and normally there's something I would say after Zan here, but as you guys know, now running our own YouTube channel. If you guys missed the announcement video, the link is in the description. There's not too many videos on this channel as of right now, as we are starting up from scratch, but I was really excited to be able to kick off this channel here today. We're going to go over some very interesting blocking concepts here in Madden 20. Some of this stuff is very meta. Other stuff I can assure you, you guys did not know about the information that is available to you when looking at how your pass protection is going to work in Madden 20. So wanted to go ahead and thank you guys so much for supporting the brand new channel. Please make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for me. Let's go ahead, without further ado, get into the blocking content. Okay, guys, so the first way that we're going to break down blocking in Madden 20 is going to be the meta way. This is the way that was popularized, I want to say, by K-Mac. And this is a way that a lot of players will basically eliminate a defensive end or some sort of edge rusher from the defensive scheme. This is a cut block method. This is a way that a lot of players can get mobile quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson on the run, and preferably designed to get them to the outside, allowing them to throw corner routes. So we're going to go ahead and show you here. This would be something like gun deuce close bench swap. There are a number of meta formations that have corners at a bunch or tight offset tight end, but we'll be able to show you just as easily here from this formation. So what we're going to do here is we're going to basically block the running back. And then what we're going to do is if there is a four-man rush that you're expecting, you're going to slide protect away from the running back. And then you're going to double team on the D tackle on the running back side. Now, the last step that you're going to do is you're actually going to ID the mic on the edge rusher. And what this is going to do is this is going to tell the running back, okay, hey, what we're doing is we're double teaming on the D tackle. The edge rusher is going to come free. I want you to go ahead and block him. And what results is more often than not a cut block animation on his legs. And then you can roll out and throw your corner route against that cover two defense that's very, very popular. So we'll go ahead and show you again. This is something that you can do on either side of the formation. So let's say that we wanted to roll to the left in this example. What you would end up doing is you would slide protect to the right. You would go ahead and float the running back if you want to the left. And then you would go through the double team on the D tackle and ID the mic on the edge rusher. We'll go ahead and click off that edge rusher here for this video, allowing him to come free. And this is going to result in a cut block on that player. Now you roll to the left and you throw your corner route against the cover two, get your 2 feet in, you're able to catch that for a first down or a touchdown. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to show you that this scheme also applies to 3-4 defenses. It's not just a 4-down lineman thing. So say, for instance, you're facing the 3-4 odd meta, which is a very popular blitz meta in this game. And you know for a fact that your opponent wants to go ahead and, send pretty much everybody, right? So this is a great way to move the quarterback from a variety of different formations and allow you to basically hit routes on the sideline. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set up the blitz everybody meta. So we've all seen the blitz everybody meta where you basically blitz all the linebackers and then press over and over and over until they mug the gaps. And then a lot of players will contain out of this. We're going to apply the exact same logic to this blocking scheme to allow us to get, let's say we wanted to just roll out and throw a comeback route against cover 4. What you're going to do is you're going to block the running back. You're going to slide protect opposite the running back. You're going to double team on the D tackle, or I'm sorry, the D end in this example, and then ID the mic on the edge rusher. Now, because we're blocking 6 against 7 and we're double teaming, chances are 2 guys are going to come free, but chances are they're going to be players that are not on the rollout side because we are double teaming and IDing to the edge. So that's fine. We're going to be rolling out with pursuit chasing us, and we're still going to be able to throw our comeback route. So you're going to see right here, cut blocks, or you're able to just get out loose and you throw your little comeback route on the sideline. Very, very simple. So it's not necessarily a situation where you have to block 7 to pick up 7. You can set up these rollout schemes very, very easily to allow you to get outside. You just have to know, hey, we're going to invite the edge rusher in. He's going to come free, and this is going to allow us to get the ball out in space. So let me go ahead and run that exact same blitz here. Double contain rush. We're going to block the running back, slide protect away. Now, in this example, because they're sending 7, you actually don't have to double team if you don't want. You can actually just ID the mic as well. That's another option. That way, only one guy's going to come through. So if we actually took a look at the previous play, 2 guys actually came free on that play. So you see right here, you had basically the linebacker, the inside linebacker came in through the A gap, or I'm sorry, yes, that would be the A gap. And then you had the edge player coming around the left side. So those were the 2 players that chased you. because you threw a double team, that caused one more guy to come free. So in that situation where you're blocking 6 against 7, just go ahead and ID the mic. Now, if I were to go ahead and say, you know, motion a tight end to the backside of the formation and do this exact same thing, you could go back to the double team method. So I could use the double team right here. And then we know that the person that's unaccounted for is the player that we've thrown the M over, the ID the mic, and then he's going to come free. So you see right there, he gets cut blocked. Now we can go ahead and roll out, throw your little comeback route against the cover 4 blitz meta, which is pretty popular. So that is your rollout method. This will work against, you know, your 4 down lineman sets. This will work against your, you know, your send 7 meta or your cover 3, your 3-4 odd meta that a lot of players do like to run. Again, this is not something I popularized. This is just the meta pass protection scheme that I want to say K-Mac was the first one to really come out and popularize that. I'll go ahead and throw a link to his channel. If you guys don't know him, chances are you're already following his channel if you're just now discovering my brand new channel. But I do want to make sure that it is very apparent that this is something that I did not create. This is just the way most players are playing the game, and that you too can play the game this way. It's at this point, it's pretty much community knowledge. So now what we're going to transition to here in the next portion of the video is actually something that I do believe most of you probably are unaware of. And this is something that you can use, especially if you use pocket quarterbacks in Madden 20. Now, in this portion of the video, we're going to talk about check and release routes and why they're important to know at least who your running back is looking at. Now, this is a tip that you can use even if you don't want to trust the check and release routes. Lord knows over the last few years that we've seen our fair share of check and release routes where a running back looks like they're going to block somebody, and then they decide to run their route instead of actually putting hands on the guy, and the guy sacks you. We don't want that for you, but what I want you to know out of this portion of the video is that you're at least going to get the information where you know who the running back is looking at, and you can at least trust the formula that I'm going to give you, whether or not you want to actually put him on an actual block assignment or let him check and then release. Now, I will say the check and release is best against the heavy blitz meta, whether it's the cover 4 send everybody or the cover 0 meta. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go ahead and show you what the check and release does. So we're going to set the 7-man blitz, QB contain, very popular defense. And what we're going to do is we are going to block the running back, and you're going to pull up your play art. You see that there's a C icon, a purple C icon that shows up on the field. This tells you who the running back is going to block. Now, check and release is very simple in terms of the rules. If the person the running back is looking at blitzes, the running back will pick him up. They'll block him for a couple seconds, and then he'll release out to the flat. So you have time to get the ball to another receiver, or you can wait for the running back to release and then try to dump it down to him. That's why it's really good against man coverage, because typically speaking in man coverage, you don't have a zone sitting in the flat to then take away the throw to the flat. So this is really good against the edge blitz 1 meta. This is really good against pinch buck 0, pinch Mike 0, depending on what formation you're facing. Your mid blitz meta, basically any cover 0, you can use this tip. So now, obviously, when you're facing 7 and you're only blocking the 5 offensive linemen and the check and release running back for 6, you're still leaving someone unaccounted for. So we go ahead and block the tight end. Now what ends up happening is it looks pretty good. You see that you're blocking 7. The check and release is on the edge player still. Now that's information that's really valuable, because what that says is that the tight end is actually not going to block the edge rusher. He's actually going to block down on the defensive end, because the edge rusher is the running back's guy because of the check and release. So purple check and release, purple C, that's who the running back is looking at. So what we do now is we go ahead and slide protect to the left, because we know that tight end is really going to block down on this formation. We want to make sure everyone else in the formation gets their kick step to the left with this block, because if we know the tight end is not actually blocking the edge, we want to make sure that if he's blocking left, everyone else is also blocking left on the line to ensure a better pocket for us. So we go ahead and do this here. You see that the running back is going to go target, cuts blocks, and now he's going to get up and run his route. We throw it to him. He's wide open against the cover 4 blitz meta. Again, we talked about how the check and release can be pretty valuable for you. Again, we just talked about in the last section of the video, your running back cut blocking. So he's already leaving his feet. The guy's on the ground. And then when you're regularly blocking the running back actually doesn't really get up and do anything in the cut block method. So in a situation where you have a pocket quarterback, you see that cut block, now you're running with Lamar Jackson like we just did in the first portion of the video. But with a pocket quarterback, we don't have that luxury. If I go to scramble with Aaron Rodgers, you guys know that because Madden 20, quarterbacks do not run their actual speed behind the line of scrimmage unless you use the escape artist, and then they almost run too fast. In this spot, because of the cut block, we're almost stuck. So you actually want the guy to be able to get up and at least show his numbers to the quarterback as an alleyway to pick that up. So if you're facing the heavy blitz meta with a pocket quarterback, I think a check and release route is very, very important because it can be really your best friend. Now let's go ahead and get into the cover zero meta. So cover zero meta is another thing that I think a lot of people struggle with, myself included from time to time, because what you get consumed with is trying to pick it up and pick up chunk yardage at all times, when in fact, just picking up the blitz with a check and release can be really valuable. Now, this portion of the video, we're going to talk about two different things that you probably, one of which I know you didn't know, most of you, and the other which I think you probably do know at this point. And the first one, we'll start off with the one I think most of you know, is that the tight end delay route is the best route for dealing with a man blitz meta. And the reason for that is that when you talk about blitzing in a cover zero or cover one situation, the game has what is called green dog blitzing rules, meaning that where you have a check and release for a running back, it's basically the check and release for a blitzer. So green dog means if your guy blocks, you blitz. If your guy runs a route, you cover. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean right here. So in this situation, we're in a cover zero blitz. I'm going to go ahead and do our check and release method, and I'm actually going to block the tight end. We're going to set up the exact same thing that we just set up. And you see right here that it looks pretty good, right? But there's a problem. There's a problem. They are sending 7, but because of the green dog blitzing rules, Jefferson, when he sees Jimmy Graham block, is going to blitz and he'll become a free runner at the quarterback. So now all of a sudden, instead of 7 against 7, it's now 7 against 7, but then they green dog into 8 versus 7, and you're going to get pressured. So this can be really challenging for you because you're still guaranteeing that the math is right for the defense in this example. So we'll go ahead and do exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to look like we pick it up, and then there's going to be a free runner. So you'll see what I mean. You see how that extra safety comes in? Now, obviously, I'm not usering on the defensive side of the ball, but you saw how Tony Jefferson green dog blitzed. So we'll go ahead and show that to you again. So here's the replay. Here's Tony Jefferson. He is looking at Jimmy Graham. So you see right there, there's Jimmy Graham. When Jimmy Graham stays in the block, he says, okay, well, I'm blitzing. I want to make sure that we carry the mathematical advantage, and we are able to get a sack off of that. So we're not able to really do the check and release thing by actually using the tight end as a 7th blocker on a hard block. But what you can do against this exact same meta is use the delay route, the tight end delay routes. And the reason that you use the tight end delay routes, and I think this was a fantastic addition to the game this year that EA doesn't get nearly enough credit for. And what that does is that basically says Jimmy Graham is going to block until you tell him to release. And what ends up happening now is with the same exact look, you got the C over the right guy's head, but because Jimmy Graham has the threat to run a route, the game says, nope, we're not going to blitz, because what happens if we blitz is now we can release Jimmy Graham and he's unaccounted for, wide open. So now what ends up happening is we're going to get, you know, kind of the block and release is going to look good. We're going to get the cut block. Now we are able to throw the ball wide open to the running back. You see how much time we had on that play? Furthermore, on that play, again, if they're using Tony Jefferson on that play, you're going to be able to release Jimmy Graham. So if you guys actually rewind that play, there's an icon that appears over Jimmy Graham's head. If I were to press the A icon at this point, Jimmy Graham will let his guy go and go run his delay fade down the middle of the field. But because we see that there is a man that's responsible for Jimmy Graham, we just leave him in the block, and that man will never blitz. You see how Tony Jefferson doesn't blitz. He just stays there waiting on Jimmy Graham to run a route. And then now, after that cut block, because it's cover zero, our running back gets up and shows himself as an outlet, and we're able to throw that check down for big yardage. So when it comes to actually running cover zero, the check and release is really your best friend, so long as you get the information that you're looking for pre-snap. Now, I do want to take this a little bit further here, because a lot of people are going to start to do this to you. And what that's going to be is they're going to blitz their 7, and then they're going to mug a gap with the 8th. And this is just designed to completely screw up your block targeting. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to set up our delay fade to the tight end, our check and release to the running back, slide protect to the left. And now you see that the C icon is nowhere near where you want it to be. So what we're going to do is maybe try to slide protect to the right. And now you see the C icon disappears altogether. We go ahead and let's go ahead and re-ID the mic over here. We take a look at it. The C icon is nowhere to be found. What this is telling you is that you do not, short of putting another guy on a block assignment, have any capability with 7 guys to pick up 7 rushers due to the fact that they're standing in the gap. That is why the Mug 8 defense, as I call it, is so meta in this year's game. The reason people run the Mug 8 is because it allows them to guarantee pressure sending 7 even when you block 7. So now let's just say I go ahead and block the running back. We go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and keep that Mug in the gap there. We go ahead and take a look at our play art here. If I were to just block this running back, there's not a chance we're picking this up. You see how we still give up the sack. The running back doesn't target correctly. That is why this defense is so good, because people can screw up the blocking logic in the game. So now we know in this formation against that look, we have to block 8 against 7 to guarantee any type of blitz pickup. So now we go ahead. Let's go back to that cover 0 meta again. They're doing the same thing everyone you face online does, and they're standing right here, right? So now we go ahead and delay tight end fade. We put the running back on check and release. Let's go ahead and not try to ID the mic on someone else. We ID the mic here. The C icon's on that guy. Everything looks okay, except for we just kind of know that because they're mugging with that player, we should be getting pressure off that left side. And you see how that does that. We end up getting sacked. And that's not what you want. So what you end up having to do is block 8. So we go ahead and set this up again. Mug 8. So Mug 8 right there. You see that there's 8 guys across inside the box right there. And we go ahead and do the exact same thing here. Slide protect, maybe ID the mic right there. We know that because they're mugging 8, you see that C icon is not over the player you need it to be on. If you can't get it on that edge player, you're not going to be able to pick up the blitz. So you see right here, we try to move the icon. Now we know, okay, well, the guy on the edge is good, but we're still fearful of the backside rush here because of the Mug 8. So now we snap the ball, and the running back is now wide open because we were able to pick up his man. So again, the check and release is really, really, really valuable because now what it does is it puts the offense in a no-win situation, or the defense in a no-win situation. You see right here that running back is wide open in the flat. They have to go user that. Everything else is picked up. I mean, everything is picked up here with the 7 versus 7. Running back is open right away. That allows you to now throw the ball to anyone else. The computer, or I'm sorry, the user defender has to go chase the running back out in the flat. You've got the 2 options at the wide receiver spot. Now, again, this is not just about single back, wing, flex, close. This is about every formation in the game. You can use this information based off of what you have. So go into the lab and try this out for yourself and see what the pre-snap tells give you with the check and release. And then what ends up happening is now, you know, this guy with the red circle under him, he should be chasing them. Now we can go ahead and leak the tight end down on his delay fade. And because the user should be accounting for the running back in the flat, now the tight end is wide open when you release him over the middle of the field. So again, the check and release route and also the delay fade that you control when they release are 2 of the best routes in the game for dealing with the cover 0 blitz meta, or when people like to blitz everyone and have no underneath flat zones or inside hook defenders. So this is something that I hope you guys will use. It is a little bit tedious in terms of setting up, but I think the information that it gives you is very invaluable to what your offense can be when you know exactly who your running back is looking at. Just knowing who the running back is actually looking at is half the battle when it comes to picking up. And that's why so many people are frustrated by the Blitz 8 meta or the Blitz 7 and Mug with an 8th meta, because the running back just stands there and doesn't block, and your opponent is just eating the quarterback alive, and you don't know why. At least with this, you can see with the check and release, okay, this is who the running back is looking at when I slide protect left. This is who the running back is looking at when I slide protect right. But I know they're sending this many, so I can't account for this guy. Let me go ahead and rotate a guy over there and block over there. Now all of a sudden you're picking things up and things are wide open, whereas, you know, before you couldn't do anything to pick it up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope you did. This is our first video on the channel from a tip standpoint. If you liked the video, please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're going to be uploading here daily. And also check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/ozano. And we're out there streaming every day, full time. Subs will get access to content as well. So if you subscribe to my Twitch channel, we'll be dropping sub game plans and also meta updates over the course of the next few months, leading into a website either this summer at the end of Madden 20 or launching for Madden 21. So hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.